Welcome. Okay, let's talk about that moment. You know the one. You're staring at an invitation you just can't accept, and you feel that little knot of anxiety in your stomach. Well, how you handle that moment is way more than just being polite. It's a huge part of managing your reputation. So today, we are going to master the art of what's called the positive refusal. It's a technique that lets you protect your time while actually making your professional relationships even stronger.
All right, let's dive right into this. We're calling this first part the awkward invitation, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. You get that email, that meeting request, and your stomach just drops because you immediately know the answer has to be no. But the real question is, what do you do next?
No, really, think about it for a second. What's your gut reaction? Do you feel a little pang of guilt? Do you start trying to come up with some complicated excuse in your head? It's right there, in that moment of hesitation, where reputations are either built up or, well, kind of bruised. So most of us fall into one of two traps. Over on the left, you've got the usual suspects. First, the ghost. You just ignore it and pray it vanishes. Honestly, this just makes you look disorganized or, even worse, disrespectful. Then there's the over-explanation. This is where you write a whole novel explaining why you can't make it, and it usually ends up sounding like you're not telling the truth. But on the right, that's where we want to be. That's the leader's response, the positive refusal. It's clean, it's confident, and we're about to break down exactly how to pull it off. And it's so important to get this right, because a clumsy no can do some real damage. This isn't just about etiquette. It's about projecting confidence, reliability, and respect, not just for their time, but for your own too. Now, this quote really gets to the heart of why we're so afraid to just say no. When we over-explain, what we're really saying is, hey, I don't think my no is good enough by itself, so here's a mountain of proof to justify it. It's that insecurity that people can feel a mile away.
And that insecurity, it actually has a name, the anxiety factor. The research here is fascinating. It shows that we don't do this because we're arrogant. We do it to protect ourselves. We're afraid of being misunderstood or rejected, so we just flood the conversation with details, hoping to control how the other person sees it. The crazy part is, it almost always backfires.
And the hidden costs are pretty high. First off, it erodes trust because it feels defensive, right? Like you might be hiding something. It also blurs your boundaries. You're basically teaching people that your no is up for debate. For you, it's just emotionally exhausting. And in the end, it just makes you look less confident.
So, how do we fix this whole mess? Well, the solution is this really elegant and honestly super effective framework called the sandwich method. It is simple, it's easy to remember, and believe me, it works in just about any situation you can think of.
It's really as simple as it sounds. Think of it like a real sandwich. Step 1 is your top bun. You start with some genuine gratitude. Thank you so much for the invitation. That immediately softens everything. Step 2 is the filling, the important part. A clear, brief no. No long stories. I'm unable to join is all you need. Then you close it out with the bottom bun, the future bridge. This part is absolutely key. It shows you rejecting the invitation, not the person. Something like, I hope it's a huge success, keeps that relationship totally solid.
And that's the whole point, right? The goal here is to be firm and kind at the exact same time. You're protecting your time and your priorities without making anyone feel blown off. And remember, you do not owe anyone a detailed schedule of your life. Your no is enough. Okay, let's get practical. I want to give you some powerful, ready-to-use scripts for your own toolkit. You can just grab these and adapt them for any situation, so you're never fumbling for words again. Just look at these examples. You can see how they all follow that sandwich method, right? For a high workload, it's a simple thank you and a clear statement. But check out the one for lacking the right skills. You say thanks, you state the no, but then you build that future bridge by recommending somebody else. That is such a power move. You're still being incredibly helpful even while you're declining. And here are a few more phrases you can steal. What I love about these is that they're all polite, direct, and they're not apologetic. I don't currently have the bandwidth is a fantastic professional way to just say you're too busy, and this isn't something I'm interested in is so honest and clear. It stops you from getting dragged into something that just doesn't fit your goals.
As we start to wrap this up, I really want you to think about this in a new way. Saying no the right way isn't about avoiding things, it's about being strategic. It's a genuine leadership skill that shows you know how to protect your most valuable asset, your focus.
Because here's the big takeaway. A positive, strategic no is not a rejection. It is not a closed door. It's not the end of the conversation. What it is instead is a clear boundary. It's a signal to everyone that you are in control of your time, your energy, and your commitments. And this right here, is the magic. Clear boundaries don't push people away. They actually build respect. People trust colleagues who are honest about what they can and can't do. And that, my friends, is the bedrock of any strong professional network.
So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. The next time you have to decline something, don't look at it as some awkward moment you have to get through. See it as an opportunity. How are you going to use your next no to not just protect your schedule, but to actually build your reputation as a focused, respectful, and seriously effective leader?